tower clock's right on time then. It is 5 o'clock, so we'll open the Rules and Legislative Committee. Everyone's present and accounted for, and John Carney's going to pray. Okay, the first item is approval of the March 19th, 2024 Rules and Legislative Committee minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Public comment period. I didn't see anyone on the list. As far as the county mayor said, he hadn't had anybody notify him as well, so we'll, being none, we'll go to the next item. The next ones are considerations and recommendations. The second item is consideration of placing the April 9th, 2024 Commission minutes on the May 14th, 2024 County Commission meeting agenda.
Make a motion, we place those on the agenda without a recommendation.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? The next item is consideration of placing the notary applicants on the May 14th, 2024 County Commission meeting agenda as requested by County Clerk Donna Thomas.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The Veterans Report was in the packet. It's for approval. It's about the same as last month. There were 46 veterans that were transported to the VA hospitals, and there were 83 veterans that came by for office visits. Is there a motion to approve the March? Okay. Oh, good, Mike. You did get good, Mike. I'm doing well. How about yourself? Good. You want to update us or make any comments or? Are there any questions for the Veterans Director? Okay, being none, is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second.
Any other discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the next is for our information only. The community clinic report was included. The medical report, again, there were 136 patients treated or seen. And then the dental report, I believe there were 87 patients that were treated or seen there. Of course, that's for our own information only. They do provide a very valuable service for our community. Any questions or discussion concerning the medical report or the dental report? And then we'll go to the next up, Ag Center, Commissioner Anderson.
Yeah, I apologize for the chicken scratch. I had only 3 people. Well, Michael forgot the meeting. Michael Simons, the secretary. He forgot. But I want to have condolences to David Mulder, the vice chair. His mom passed away, and that's why he wasn't present. A couple of the other ones, and we want to say to David, how sorry we are his mom passed away. So that happened. Only had 3 there. Really couldn't have a meeting, but we took Ellen's report and all that good stuff, and talked about horse shows, consignment sale. But one thing, a lady has approached me about doing is, and Linda and Greg, y'all been out there. We got paneling in that front room, and we had been thinking about painting over it. Well, this lady that's an artist came to us and came to Helen. She goes, "You need to go see Bill." So she comes up there and sees me. She wants to paint it with her expense, her cost. She's buying the paint, and she's a very good painter, which she's just wanting to paint it because she's going to rent the facility several times to have these art shows. and the backdrop would look better. And we kind of been wanting rid of that paneling, so they're going to come in front of the board. Yes. Well, she does everything. She teaches a class. Right. But it's just basically covering the paneling with paint where it doesn't have that dated look to it.
Yeah.
And we had thought about doing it anyway. If they probably have to buy the paint. Well, this way, if the board approves, I told her she had to come before the board. The board has to vote on it. But it might be kind of nice to have her do it. It would be better than having the inmates do it. Or, you know, I'm just saying because she is a good painter anyway, but it would make the building not look as dated, which is what we've been trying to do. She's an artist, and she teaches classes, and she wanted a good backdrop, and she rents the place like everybody else does, and she's really nice, does good work. But I said, but you'd have to do the whole room, not just part of it. Oh, no, I'll do the whole room. So that was something we talked about, but I told her she needed to come before the board. Hopefully I got more than 3 there, so I'll have a meeting next month. Oh, yeah, it's going to be nothing but a blank. It's not going to be just a drab color. It's just she's painting, it's all. Right. No, I don't think we have any art on the wall. It's where she's put, this would be the backdrop of the wall where that's tan. She's going to paint it white or whatever is the backdrop and then put her paintings out in front of it. See, y'all see what I'm saying? So when she's painting and showing you how to paint, well, she's both, but she teaches classes and teaches other people how to do it. And she just said that backdrop would look really good. But it's got to go before the board. But to me, it kind of sounded like a no-win situation. But anyway, that's all I got.
Okay, any questions? Want to have any questions about the egg center? Maybe then we'll go to the next item is the Joint Homeless Task Force. Commissioner Hooker.
Hey, Commissioner Hooker, would you? We're going to continue to evaluate the HMIS program, which is the tracking software. We're supposed to this month go to the nonprofit organizations to be able to look at that. Toby Sneed's heading that up, and he's doing a great job of moving forward with that. We're reviewing the city of Houston right now. They've had a significant decrease in homelessness over the last 4 or 5 years, and they've actually got some processes that they're going, and we're going to evaluate some of those things to be able to see how those can kind of implement here in Bedford County. And so we're going to kind of look over that the next month. The city is moving forward with a lot of our recommendations that we came forward with last year. And so that's kind of things that we did last summer. They're kind of starting to look at those and move forward with some of the recommendations that our committee had. And so we're excited that they're starting to move forward with that. One of the last things that we have is we're actually going to be looking at maybe switching from an actual committee to a work group where we can involve some more people from the community. It's going to allow us to be able to start working on specific tasks that we came up with over the last 12 months. As a committee, we're tying up a lot of people's time that may not be in these specific work groups. And so with that, we're going to have that conversation, and with that, I'll update this group if we do transition to that. It makes it a little less formal, gives us a little more leeway to be able to do some more things with the community. And so that may be the pathway that we do moving forward. That way it's not a formal committee. And so we're going to be talking about that next month. So if I have any questions, yes? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we made 3 major recommendations to the city. It was an anti-loitering policy, as well, or I guess for them would be a resolution or an ordinance. The other was an anti-camping, coming up with ways for the public property as well as the business district. And then the third thing is an anti-panhandling to be able, or a really aggressive panhandling to be able to remediate some of those issues. Those were the 3 things that we saw in the communities that saw a significant improvement in homelessness. Those were the 3 things they focused on. The other thing is we had several homeowners from the square area, also the business district, and several business owners that came to us and expressed concerns. And so we really focused on that with several of the hostile individuals that they were dealing with on a consistent basis. Thank you. Any other questions? All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, under old business, we've Commissioner Yaki's been working with several people, Charlie Curtis particularly, trying to get our rules updated, and we're close to the finish, he says. We did have a handout, and then we got some more suggestions from Mr. Curtis as well, so.
Yeah,
I think so, yes.
on now. Okay. I had called Charlie Curtis about something totally unrelated to anything, and he asked me, he just by chance asked me what I was doing, and when I told him I was working on the bylaws, he said, well, let me send you this. So the checks out beside the numbers, they're in there. There's a couple of not applicables. Ginger went through this with me, or they're just in Robert Rules of Order, and she said there's no point in putting them back in there. So pretty much everything is in there that he has suggested, and a couple of them I've added in red in the draft that I gave you. So that's what this is, so that you don't think I'm making up stuff. So looking at the draft that I gave you, we're almost there. I think after this meeting, we'll be good. I met with Ginger week before last, and the mayor has gone through this also. So on the very first page, the mayor has asked, what's in red was one of the things that Mr. Curtis said to do, and I think Ginger had said it too, was to define what a session was, so that's just added. The mayor asked that under the county courthouse in the second line that it read historic county courthouse so that we don't get confused with out yonder. Next to the last sentence, there's a typo error. Instead of, I'll scratch out over, and then the mayor suggested put meeting in there. And also, when we get done with everything, Suzanne's going to take this and number all the pages and put revised such and such date so that if something is changed, then we can change that page only. Going to the next page up at the very top, Mayor asked me to add just not only email or phone call, but also I'll stick in there all the media outlets or make it read like it does way over in the document with what we said over there. That's about it until, excuse me.
Order of business on the agenda. Do we have old business on there now or no? Because it's not on there, like, new business, but they don't have old.
I may have left that off.
I
No,
know, but
no,
it's
this
not
on
the
this
rules.
draft.
This is in the rules.
I will check that. Good point. Should be.
Yeah, I would think so.
And this is the commission agenda. Yeah. Okay, I will check that. Section L, Ginger asked that the resolutions, she said we didn't have anything in there in the bylaws about resolutions. So I added the resolution, and they read pretty much just like the motions do, except they are different. And one of the things that was to be added was that Donna Thomas does the numbering on them. And did you find out, do resolutions take a 2/3? That was one of the questions. I don't think so. I think it's just,
I
yeah.
had a question about that too. Like, that's on number 5. Is that
Uh-huh. So I will double check that with Ginger, and make sure that reads properly.
I think that's on appeals, though. If you're looking at
No, the
section
2/3.
Two.
That's 2/3, and
That's the appeals.
that's somewhere in here.
It
Yeah.
is, it's right here. It's
Oh,
on
okay, okay.
Correct.
Right,
So the key
right,
here is
exactly.
10 votes is still the magic number. Doesn't matter if there's 14 of us here, it still takes 10.
Yes.
Correct.
Right.
I think you're right.
Membership.
So,
Yeah, now I've got that in here too.
But on
Right.
the conflict of interest, it would only be on that one particular matter.
On that one item.
Yes,
Right.
correct. Correct.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. And Chad and I will sit down and read those again, that they do read right. And I'll put them in red if we change something. And that's the same thing on the motions down there. We'll double check it. Conflict of interest. I've read this thing 1,000 times. If you'll look over to the top page of A, the direct conflict of interest, that's section N, and then up at the top on the next page, the next second paragraph says, if any member of the county commission has a direct conflict of interest, no member of the commission may vote to approve. I called John T because I typed it straight off of what he gave me, and he said that's an error. So it'll read, that member of the commission may not vote to approve the matter before the commission, period. And then I want to add in there about the reducing the number of things, so I'll clean that up. What's in red is just deleted stuff that shouldn't be on there. It read commissioner and officer, so that's just cleaning up. Go over to section R, and the very last sentence, Mayor asks that it read, this person will serve until the next general election. So yeah. Right.
So it doesn't mean you're filling out the term. It could not necessarily.
Right.
Gotcha.
Because you could have some sort of special election called or something. Good
But I
point
think
on
those are
that.
Only state and federal offices. I don't know local.
Local
private,
might
because
not.
You've got a 6-year term of the U.S. Senate, and somebody dies in year 1, then you have a special election.
True.
Fill out that, and you have that in the state Senate as well, but you don't have it in the state House because it's 2 years, and the election
Gotcha.
cycle is every 2 years. So I was curious if it would be, since we're a 4-year term, if that would require. But I think
We've never done a
I
special
think you
one.
cleaned it up. It just says till the next election. I would
Which
think
still
that's
looks
the
like
state.
it's going to be the term, though, doesn't it?
You fill out the term.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were to replace somebody now, the primary has already happened, but the general has not happened. And so if you had to replace somebody today, they could serve till the end of 26, like the
Yep,
rest of
yep.
us now, even though the general has not happened.
Yep.
It's too late to get on the ballot.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
You follow?
True.
I follow you.
True.
Yep.
Now, a question I have on section T. I asked Ginger, we don't list our agenda format for the committees like we did that we looked at a while ago for the commission. She said she didn't think that was necessary. That's just internal stuff that we could change. It doesn't, not anything dealing with the commission, and she didn't suggest listing it because we might want to change something, or one of the committees would go off or something. So I have not put the agenda, the new agenda that we kind of talked about last time, in here. I can if you want me to. She said it wasn't necessary because it didn't deal with the commission.
You're talking about the committee
Yeah, the committee
agenda.
agendas, because all of them are a little bit different. Yeah, yeah. Right,
Right.
right. She said we could if we wanted to. On the section X, but up at the top of my page, Ginger and Charlie Curtis too. We didn't have anything in here about a special called meeting. So Ginger researched it. Special call meetings can be done by the county mayor or by the chairperson if an application for such meeting is made in writing by a majority of the commission. Some other wording somewhere along the way says a petition from the chairperson to call for this, but I'll clean that up with Ginger and make sure I'm wording that completely right. But you have two ways: county mayor can call a special meeting, or the chairperson can
Commission.
of the in behalf of the commission. And it didn't say anything other than a majority of the commission to to be able to do that. I asked her about John T. She said no, he does not call. And then we'd have to give the same notice as any other meeting. On a section X under public comments, and it'll be over again in the committees. Charlie Curtis' suggestion was to add that last sentence in the event a person wishing to speak has a disability or is interrupted for some reason, chairperson has the right to extend the 3-minute time limit. So I added that. Jumping over to section G. It will read minutes and agenda rather than just agenda because those are all sent out, mailed out together. So I'll add minutes in with all that. Section H is just adding chairperson pro tem in. Jumping down to the county clerk. All she does is compile the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting and send to the county mayor. So I'll delete that whole last two sentences. She doesn't do anything else. It's all internal with the mayor's office. Clean that up.
Section C, is that what you're in?
That's it's under county clerk rule 3.
Mhm.
Up at the top, section A. Are you on 3?
I think.
Yeah, and under section A, all it will read is the county clerk's responsible for compiling the minutes, pretty much, period. This last part, the 1 through 7, I'll get with Suzanne and see if we need to move that somewhere else or leave it there. Yeah, so we'll, if she'll help me, we'll clean that up. On bylaw 6, the standing committees. Up at the very top, section A, I've got a quorum shall require 3 members of the committee to be present. And that was the thing that Charlie Curtis said, put in there, what's your quorum for the committees. But finance has 7 people, so that will be 4 for them. So I'll add that in, thanks to Mr. Price over there. The mayor, right above section F, after nominations for the standing committee positions to the Board of Commissioners for consideration based parcel. I'll stick those 2 words in. It does clarify the sentence. On section F, Ginger said we needed to have in writing that the bylaws are at least reviewed or accepted each year by this committee. In January, I stuck in there January just because. And you can appoint somebody or do it yourself, Mr. Chairperson. Okay, we're not there yet. Okay. Yes, I got that on here. Jumping over to section J, special committees. There's question brought up by more than one of us. You can call it, I know Julie had a special committee that we met for, I don't remember what we were doing. No, it wasn't juveniles. It was something else because we disbanded then after a year. But the mayor every now and then, and you help me, Mayor, needs people to gather information from him to make some decisions about something, such as the juvenile detention center. Lord, we've been working on this for 8 years, and people have kind of come and gone. It's not really a committee. We don't decide anything. We're just trying to get the information together. So I did it with the jail. We did, and it's gathering information. It's not for the commission. That would come through another channel. So I don't know. Ginger said don't worry about it. That it's just the internal mayor's office. But I'll bring that up. If you want me to put something in there, I don't mind. Jumping down to section M, the highway department needs to be deleted off of number 1. They don't come before the rules and legislative anymore. That was old. Under number 3, the mayor is requesting, instead of calling it law enforcement, to call it public safety committee. So that's a decision for y'all to ponder. Okay, it's a little bit more current. And then on finance, no, excuse me, Mayor, you wanted the facility management. That's Daniel Kleindienst, right? Where did you want him? Courthouse and property. Okay. Right. Okay, so added to the courthouse and property would be the facilities management. And then on number 4, on finance, mayor has requested that the owner representative, which is Jeff Sweeney, be added after archives. Mayor didn't like some of my sentence structure, but we'll deal with that. Uh-huh.
So what was that after archives? Owner what?
Owner rep.
Are you on the Rule 8 yet?
I am ready for Rule 8.
And Chairman Fair, weigh in on this. I need your expertise. On that, we're saying here, at the last sentence, when we're talking about mayor, board of commissioners, appointed board, and department heads, any board member that is absent for 3 consecutive meetings or 4 meetings in 1 calendar year shall be replaced. Can we define what is consecutive? Does consecutive mean January, February, March commission meetings? That would be 3. Does it mean commission meeting first, second?
We've always,
Committee and finance?
I'm going by zoning, we've always done it 3 straight meetings if they're not
Three
there.
meetings being defined.
But that's you, is that for a commission or is that for just for the committee?
That's for the committees and
Yeah.
boards.
Right, committees and boards, it's not commission.
Oh, it's not commission now.
So if Bill's Ag Board has somebody who has missed 3 consecutive meetings, then he could replace them.
He,
I've had to
sh-
do that
And you've had
too.
to do
he
it.
shall replace
I've
it.
had to do it before.
Yeah, it's
He-
And
automatic.
it doesn't
He-
say, it says shall.
He shall replace them. And the reason,
I didn't
Commissioner,
go at 3, but when it got to like 6 or 5 or something.
and it
you
usually
do it, you
spills
gotta-
over, and
I mean, you could have a heart attack and
Yes.
exactly, and
want to come back.
as long as
Treatments or-
there's, I guess there's an appeal made to the fact that they're extending issues and they come back, but we have also relieved them. So
We've had some that just quit coming. And that
Yeah, they
happens with a
just
lot of things,
quit
you know, they
coming.
just decide they don't want to do it anymore and just don't
So
do it.
we can add a sentence in there at like an appeal process to the mayor or notification to the mayor of extenuating circumstances. I don't have any problems with that. The problem is that when you've got somebody who just quits showing up and they're cousins to the chairperson, they don't want to get rid of them, and the mayor can take
Yeah,
the lead role in that. And
extenuating circumstances or something we should.
I can add a
say.
sentence. Let me add a sentence in.
Yeah.
For a while.
I mean,
Well, death in a family and so forth and so on.
I will say this, you'll all probably agree with me. It is so hard to get people to serve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard.
'cause it's a volunteer thing.
And it's hard to get people to agree to do it. And once you get them to do it, you got to get them to come. And it's just, and it's getting harder every year, it seems to me like.
Oh, yeah.
Well, make it difficult to get off once you're on.
Well, I mean, because it is difficult and it's, and people don't give their time like they used to.
Public service.
They just don't do it.
Section B is all the boards, and Suzanne are still working on some of those, adding the terms, and we're about complete on them. I'll have it in red. I did add on number 11 the adult oriented establishment board. That's that's the state wording in our zoning document. It's worded adult entertainment, so I put both of them there so somebody couldn't say that's not what it was meant to be.
I'm still shocked that we had this. This I had never heard of it until the last meeting or two we brought this up. I guess you got to add it because you never know what's going to happen. Absolutely. I just never
And
thought of it.
I brought this up to the mayor of Normandy the other night because they're working on some ordinances. They're a prime target for it.
Mhm.
You know, of
Beach
any of the three other incorporated cities, because of that frontage that they've got. So I will get that cleaned up, and then in section D, the very last thing, Charlie Curtis said we needed in there about our. I told him that you all had some guidelines that they were approved by the commission, but the highway number one, the highway superintendent submits a list of all roads that needed to be in there. He said, Charlie said, so that sentence is there. The highway superintendent is responsible for the naming of the roads in conjunction with the director, 911, and the zoning director. As well, the highway superintendent submits the name of a road to be closed to the Board of Commissioners for approval. And then the second part is what our bylaws are. The bridges and county buildings, except those of the Board of Education, follow the guidelines established by the rules. Ginger said we did not need to have the rules in here because they might change. But on number 2, I have a question. Do you want me to add bridges, county buildings, and road dedication?
We've already dedicated the road. Mayor Ray out there.
Yeah, that's what brought this up. So I don't have any problems adding that.
I think you need to include it.
Since we've already
Just-
done it, I
yeah,
think we need to
probably
add it because
so.
we've already done it once.
Hmm
I need to add it and have it there.
Roads and highways. I'll stick roads and highways.
Retro.
Hmm But now the actual naming of the road stays with the highway superintendent.
Forgiveness rather than permission.
Right. And when this is then passed, I'm going to ask Suzanne, because then that's what we'll be doing. I'll ask Suzanne to redo those guidelines and put number 1 on there so that it doesn't get confused. And then we'll add the dedicated roads and get a copy of that out to everybody then. So we're here. It's just a little bit of cleanup. So I hope by next month that you have the final thing. And if you see anything, please text me, and we'll get it changed.
Thank you so much for doing this.
A lot of work.
Glad
It is a
Yeah.
lot of work.
sit and do it.
Read it and reread it again today, but still.
Do any other commissioners have any questions before we go on? Again, thank you. Okay, yes, we need to just hold what we got. We need to wait till she brings the next month.
I think next month you'll bring us a cleaned up version, technical
So
corrections.
what's
in there.
which committee just
Yeah, we'll
Put
do
it
Motion to
on the
defer to next
agenda.
month.
Yeah.
Right on the agenda for next month.
okay? So second,
second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I just wanted to make sure it
Yes,
stayed
sir.
on the agenda. Is there any new business come before the committee? No business. I think we've sort of taken care of it. Any announcements? I know last week was pretty busy. We had eclipse, which we don't have them very often. That was a big hoorah. But, and then we met, and then, did anyone make it to the library luncheon on Friday? I was out of town. I was wondering how that went. I guess we're gonna know how that came along. I don't have any other announcements. I think there was one, April 12th, wasn't it? Wasn't there?
I did too. I didn't.
Yeah. Was that on Friday, last Friday? Coffee. Yeah, coffee. It was like from 9:30 to 11 or something. Okay. I was just wondering if anybody went, and I went, but. Okay, is any, Any other announcements?
Move to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so
Right.
moved.
I do have one real quick. The spay and neuter clinic, Middle Tennessee Spay and Neuter Clinic is having a rabies clinic the 27th of this month.
Good deal. Okay. All right.
to do everything, dear Lord, tonight in your will, and that would be best for the Bedford County, dear Lord. We ask that you bless each and every member here tonight. Please give us good health. Thank you for the beautiful day that we have, dear Lord, and for all the many blessings that you bestowed upon us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Need to approve, March 19th. Do you have a motion?
I'll make a motion. Second.
All in favor? Any public comment? I think I saw some. Okay. Reports, animal control. I guess
You
you
just talk this direction or
Yeah.
pick it up or whatever, just so
pick it
that-
up, yeah.
I don't have anything to add to the report. I would like to thank Ms. Zoe. It's, in case some of y'all, don't know, it is National Animal Control Officer Appreciation Week. So she, put some stuff in the paper and we had, all the employees' pictures and with a little saying in it. So I wanted to thank her for that and thank all the ACOs out there working hard.
Yeah, look good.
It was good. Thank you, Zoe. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Sheriff? Austin?
We did, month of March, 84, I think I need that.
So it picks up
It's
on
up
the
on
internet.
Oh, sorry about that. Is it on?
Yeah.
Okay. The total miles for the sheriff's department in the month of March was 84,571. That's about 2,700 miles every day. So the officers have really been out there on patrol. As you can see, they served almost 1,000 warrants, 993, 212 arrests. Just skipping down through here, 355 investigations, 84 motorist assist, 346 traffic stops. So once again, very busy month for our officers. The drug
task force report for the month of March. There was 23 investigations. Approximately 40 defendants were identified and or arrested during this. 6 firearms were seized. Some of the drugs taken as what they usually are, cocaine based, crack cocaine, 36 controlled prescription medications, most thought to contain fentanyl. Says this agency investigated 3 previous convicted felons, 4 previous convicted felons who are currently out on supervised felony parole, probation, or community corrections. 7 defendants were on bond at the time of their most recent offenses. 5 defendants were on misdemeanor probation. Skipping down just a little bit, currently we are assisting federal agencies with ongoing investigations within the 17th Judicial District and is working with the assistant U.S. attorneys on indictment drug defendants in the federal jurisdiction of Eastern and Middle Tennessee. Our courtrooms, as you might figure by the way the other reports are, were very busy as well. In the month of March, 5,397 people came through the Justice Center, and that doesn't even count the Sheriff's Department. There were 36 court sessions with a total of 1,691 individual court cases. The deputies, which would be the courtroom deputies, served 35 criminal and civil warrants. They took 17 people into custody and transported 113 inmates. That's all I have except for corrections or jail. And of course, Ronald is here and he'll come up after me. So if you, Linda, you got a question?
Yeah. When we moved in December, January, how many did we have incarcerated then? It was like 170 something. Do you remember?
It sounds right, Linda, because during that period, as you know, even some of the courtrooms weren't going at full pace, and our numbers, as well as everybody's numbers, were down. Does that sound right to you, Chief? All right.
Yeah. I'd like to know that number just for the history part of it, sometime when you have nothing to do. But if you look now.
Ronald's listening to every word you say.
Oh, yeah, Kristen. We have a 306. We've almost doubled, is my point.
Absolutely. We've been very active, as I think I've mentioned before. A lot of the counties around us, their populations have actually been down. Now, I can't say that's the case right this moment, but I'm talking 3 or 4 months ago, because a friend of mine, well, I hope all the sheriffs are friends of mine, but Sheriff Fuller of Franklin County called me and asked me, was our numbers down? And I'm like, no, just the opposite. Ours are up. So, as I say, I guess the officers out there doing a good job. Another thing is, as you know, we have state inmates, which a lot of them are from Bedford County, but some of them are not. And obviously, the state does pay us for keeping them. I wouldn't say it's the best money-making thing you could have, but it's better than not getting anything. And if some say, well, you need to send them back to state, well, it doesn't work that way. The state lets you know when you can do that. So that's kind of out of our control. And it's probably because we do have a larger jail, a newer jail, a better jail than what most counties have. But anyway.
Okay. Ronnie?
Okay, we had we served 27,348 meals in corrections. We have we took in $18,786.01 in revenue. That's from warrant service, our sex offenders, and some of the commissions off of the commissary and phone and stuff like that. we saved the county $38,640 off of 8 work crews going out with 14 inmates. With the classification, we're still struggling with sending the right people out. We just don't want to send out anybody, and it'd be the wrong person to send out. So we recently got our CERT team, which is a corrections emergency response team, or cell extraction. There's several different names for it. We got it up and running now. That was completely paid for by the state of Tennessee. They trained for our officers to go to training. They bought the gear. They bought everything. So county didn't have to pay nothing. We got a new program that's fixing to kick up. That's thinking for a change. And it's something similar to MRT, but it's a little different. And we also have a garden, which we told you about last month. And Lieutenant Cook is fixing to do some planting tomorrow. So he's been working 5 days a week out there. So, other than that, that's all we got. They didn't give me the state inmate total numbers that we have. It's still going to be up. State of Tennessee told me that, unfortunately, like the sheriff said, we're a new jail. We're not overcrowded. They're going to get to other counties before they get us. So we got several that needs to go. And I think that's all I got.
Thank you.
I'd like to comment on the MRT program. It's a lot of programs going on. And I think to get to volunteer to come into the jail, you have to go through training. And I think we've had over 100 local community volunteers be trained. Yes. And so that shows you that we've got community action caring for our inmates to try to get them better to come off and not return. So I'm very honored, and compliments to Lieutenant Cook and the team. So, all right, EMA.
I don't have anything to add to what my report is. I'll touch on a couple of things that we're doing. We've been still working with schools on our drills. We were out at Thomas Magnet and did one out there. We also been to community. They're doing on their drills now. They're doing unannounced drills, and we've had a couple of them during. I think I talked about it last month, but during class changes or hall changes where we have a bunch of kids in the halls and seeing where their reaction is. We're getting real good at if they're in the classroom getting locked down, but also educating them on what they need to do if they get caught out in the hallway or whatever. So a lot of schools are doing that. The other things we're doing are following up on our plans and programs and things like that, revamping those, and some of them are required by the state to get done, but we're working on those. That's about all, I guess. We just keep answering and helping the other public safety people as needed. So, if y'all have any questions?
Glad y'all doing the unannounced, because that's much more realistic.
It's
You know,
and it's an eye
we
opener.
plan for it. It's easy.
It's easy when you got everybody
Right,
sitting
yeah.
down in a classroom just to get them over to a corner, but when you've got
Right.
X number of kids out in the hallway
Yeah.
going different directions all the time, and then trying to find a place to go is it's interesting. But they're doing a good job, really. They are. So.
Juvenile detention.
I don't have anything additional to add to my report this time. Do you guys have any questions for me?
We should be getting close to knowing what our numbers are so that we can take the next steps moving forward with the project.
Okay, thank you.
Probation, let's see.
We have a report.
We have a
don't think you
report.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Need a motion to approve our reports.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Other reports for information only, don't have any of this. Old business, new business, announcements, motion for adjournment.
Move.
Full day we had outside. Please help us to do and make the right decisions for this county and to be with those that are unable to be here. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Commissioner Neely and Commissioner Thompson are absent. They had other things to do that they couldn't make it. Everyone else is here. The first thing on our agenda is approval of the March 19th Courthouse and Property Committee minutes.
Motion to approve. Second.
Okay, all in favor? All opposed? Okay, any public comment on the agenda? Okay. Next thing is codes report. I don't think she's here, is she? Okay, everybody has it in their packet. So, any comment on that before we move on?
Building permits are going back up.
Yeah, they are. Planning and zoning. I don't think he's here either, is he? Okay, everybody, well, I don't think we have a report for him, do we? Yeah, I don't think we have a report from him. And IT report we just got, so I'll let Josh speak on that.
Okay, so you should have the report. This is just basically giving you an overview of some of the major projects that we have right now underway. You can see we've got a lot of the facilities that are undergoing projects. They range from the jail equipment that's in there, the life safety equipment, all the way to exterior cameras, interior cameras at different facilities. Pretty big list here. All of these projects, with the exception of one of them, are funded. The last project, which is on the back, talks about the jail system, the jail network cabling expansion. We're having to expand that cabling system. We're trying to do that to support these tablets that Governor Lee has pushed out to all of the detention centers throughout the state. And this is an initiative to help with reintegration. And it's an education program. That's what these tablets are strictly dedicated to. And they're funded by the state. And so we're in the process right now. We have a grant submission that we've made to be able to pay for this cabling expansion throughout the secure side of the jail, and it will support a wireless network that's not connected to any of the county network. So that's what that's for, and we're waiting to hear back on a grant that's been applied for by the jail for that. Once you read through here, you'll see there's a lot of details, but we are relying on some contractors to get back with us. We're not the only ones applying for this type of equipment and upgrades, so there are other counties as well, and we all use similar contractors, the same contractor in a lot of cases if they're contracted with the state. So we're in a line. We're waiting on them to get to us. So the scheduling is always a concern when you have multiple facilities and multiple counties vying for the same attention of the same contractor. You go into the waiting list, and so we've contacted these contractors for these jobs. The funding is there. We've activated the requisition orders with the Department of Finance. They've been very cooperative. The mayor's office has helped us with that, and now we're just waiting to get on the schedule for these projects that you see in front of you.
Okay, does anybody have any questions?
Josh, down at the bottom, the solid waste, those three, what about the other ones? Have they already got cameras?
So the solid, no, they don't. And when we looked at the estimates to do the solid waste facilities, to have those with security cameras, we looked at and I know that Superintendent Mark Clanton looked at which ones were where there was the largest need, I believe, the safety concerns because of the amount of use and the population use there. And I think this is what this is public safety concerns there. And you have to have that these days at these government facilities. And I feel like he's made the right choice. Those are obviously the busiest sites that we have as far as our traffic is concerned. And that's how they selected the three, and it's based off of budgetary reasons.
Okay, that was my next one.
Okay, does anybody have any other questions? Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm assuming, let's see, fire department. I almost skipped over you since Mark wasn't here, and then I thought, no, I've got Brian. Does anybody have anything? No? Okay. You got off the hook today.
We'll
All
save
right.
him for Mark. We'll berate him.
911, I don't think he's here, is he? Okay, and then John for Media GIS.
Nothing really to add to the report unless there are any questions. Newsletter, we're up to about 158. It's not growing as fast as I would like it to grow, but it's steady. Each month when we put the new issue out, we post it to social media, and we'll get a few more, clicks, subscriptions from people that have seen it on social media. So it's continuing to grow. I wish it were growing faster, but it's continuing
I
to
wish
grow.
we could think of a way to get people to. Social media is about the only way you can think. Does anybody have any other questions? Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve all reports.
Motion to approve.
Okay, all in favor? All opposed? Okay, any old business?
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to address some of those comments that were made while I was absent last month, if that's okay.
Sure.
Judge Rich came up and addressed some questions that I had. I had actually a constituent that reached out that had some concerns about maybe the numbers not being as accurate on the juvenile detention. And so we were, appreciate the juvenile detention sending those numbers to us so we could look at those. And so I've actually reviewed those numbers. And based on the numbers are trending downward. 3 years ago, it was 909, and these are for Bedford County Knights, and 145. 2022, 81 and 669 nights. 2023, 84 individuals with 489 nights. And if you average it out for the remainder of the year, we would be somewhere around those same numbers at 79 and 508. Now, the problem is I do not have a concern when somebody has a question as to something that I brought up. The reason that I have a concern is that it was brought in the manner that it was brought up in. I had a concern, I asked a question, and I asked for a report. That's all that it came down to. And so if Judge Rich has anything that he would like to add to that, I would be glad to have a conversation with him. But the thing is as he said and as he stated, the numbers are the numbers. The numbers are trending downward. So all I asked for was numbers to be accurately reflected in the data and the information that we get. That should be what we get.
There was another thing he addressed too, was that he had never heard of the, what was it, sentencing at home or whatever, that was the part that he was.
Again, I asked a question. I didn't make a statement. I asked a question that I was told that was happening. Now, again, I'm happy for him to address that, but the thing is whenever I have questions, as a member of this committee, I have that ability to do so. Because as commissioners, we need to be making decisions on 100% accurate data, not on perceptions, not on, well, the way it used to be. We need to go on accurate data. So that is, I'll leave it at that, but I would like that any decisions that we make here moving forward be reflected on the data that is current.
Here you go, Kelly.
I just had a question. I thought on that stuff you just showed me that next to last year was bigger, so it wasn't going down.
No, it's 489. The year before that was 669. The year before that was
the
909.
81 and the 89. Okay, so
Yep.
one went up and one went down.
Yeah, it went up 3 people. So yeah.
Okay. Oh, I thought that was on. Okay. I didn't have the same math he did. I didn't total them, so that's why I was asking.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, does anybody else have anything for old business? Okay, for new business, I received a phone call from David Coffey with Palmetto Properties, and he has an interest in the workhouse. And I've given all the members of the committee a copy of the letter. And he's just kind of telling a little bit of his history with his business and what he does with properties. And basically, he's saying that he feels like it would be great to have that piece of property for a light industrial, retail, or office space in the market to possibly bring some more jobs. And so he said he would be glad to meet with our committee or anyone else that would be of interest, and be glad to take you on a tour of some of his current projects that he's got going and give you his more feedback. And he even said he would be glad to attend next month if we would like him to. Okay. Any comments on that?
I just think that I love the idea because I think it's definitely could improve the area. I think that one thing we've just got to make sure that in this process that we don't lose money having to rebuild another facility, because we've got to have that for surplus. So as long as this is either a break even or a,
Well, I told him that. I knew that would be what was, how people would take it. But but I do think he would like to do something for the community. He's all about the community. So
no.
Would you like me to ask him to be here next month? Or yes?
I think that'd be great.
Okay, I can do that. All right. Any other new business? Okay. Any announcements? Mr. Johnson? Okay. All right. Any other announcements? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.